I love it when I find a high value, high performance blade. Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Welcome to another episode here at Gideon's Tactical. I am your host, Aaron, and we're looking today at the Drop Forge series from Cold Steel, and particularly the Drop Forge Hunter.
This feels really good in the hand, actually.
I know.
I'm surprised.
Now what you're going to find a little bit different with this knife than most other blades on the market is that it has no handle scales and it's literally one piece of steel. It's not multiple pieces of steel being put together or handle scales or rubber putting over it. It's literally a piece of drop forged steel with an edge on it. So the strength and durability of this blade should be phenomenal. And to add to that, we're getting it at a great price point. Now on Amazon, I paid $35 for this. I see it usually going between $35 and $45. And we're looking at a Taiwanese made 52-100 high carbon steel. Now you may not be super familiar with that. It's definitely on par with any 5160. It is a form of what you even see some bussy knives being used in. It's a very good high quality high carbon steel. It has a Rockwell of 58 to 59 is what Cold Steel has done with it. Full flat grind, 4-inch blade, razor sharp. So we're really looking forward today to showing you what this knife can do. I've just thrown some paracord on it, wrapped it up, and we're going to see how a drop forged single piece of steel can perform, the positives and the negatives, and possibly where this would fit into one of your systems that you may be building out, maybe a bug out bag, maybe for your next hunting trip, maybe for car camping, a survival kit, whatever it may be. So let's go ahead, jump to it, see what this drop forged hunter can do, and see if it's going to be the right tool for you. So just really pumped, guys, to break down this blade for you today. We got a lot to talk about in a short period of time to show you what really I just did kind of on a whim, and when you find that knife that you're like, wow, that was actually awesome. It's just really exciting. So we are going to have two other contestants and two other just food for thought blades out here, more for concept and to run up against in the sense of just thought process. We have here the SE4HM, and I also have the Schrade SCHF 42D right back here. I'll move these in right there just for concept. We're going to do price comparison, all that type of stuff here in a little bit. So, and the reason that I picked these two other blades is that one is foreign produced, one is US produced. They're all full flat grind, and they're all kind of that compact, companion blade. Obviously, this being that solid drop forged piece of steel. These guys having handle scales and different things like that that we're going to discuss. So, with that, let's go ahead and actually talk about handle first before we get into blade performance. Okay, as we look at the handle here, what we're looking at is from basically, cut in to cut in, you're looking at about 4.625 inches overall length, and then you're looking at about a thickness without the paracord wrap of 0.3638. So it's thin. I mean, it's like a pocket knife in thickness without the wrap. Now, it's originally designed to be used without any sort of wrap. You just grab the knife and start going. And that's kind of the concept with it. With that lanyard back there, you could throw it on there. And it's absolutely doable. You could do that. All the lines have been angled really well. There's no hot spots, even this groove in here. It kind of lends itself to be comfortable in the hand without paracord. So you could absolutely do it. Now, you're not going to get anywhere the level of traction that paracord would offer, or these other handles are going to offer you. And in cold weather environments, which we live in here in the Rockies, and I go year round, so sometimes I'm out in like 20-degree weather, that would suck. It would start to penetrate your gloves. If you have gloves on, if you're barehanded using this knife in cold weather, it is really going to be almost unusable. So those are things that you need to think about. Hot conditions as well. You lay it out or you're hiking. I mean, you're going to pick up the heat, and then it's going to be burning your hand. So those are things that you absolutely need to, consider with this idea of being a full tang drop forged steel blade. Now with the paracord, it becomes a completely different animal in a good way. It really ups the level of comfortability. It really ups the level of feel, fills out the hand really nicely there, and I really enjoy the grip. But I was really happy with the performance and actually really surprised when I wrapped it and began to use it for bushcraft tasks, feather stick making, carving, whittling. It really felt good in the hand. It didn't feel too narrow. I really had the traction that I wanted. Has a really nice cut in that's pretty close to the edge, so I have good control. I don't have jimping or, you know, thumb ramps to worry about. So it's very controllable for the outdoors. Even reverse, you know, grips like this, I can do chest lever grips, and there are no hot spots to worry about. Even with that little hook out the back, I can kind of back up, do some light hacking off of some light branches if I needed to or something like that, and really, you know, worked well. And I believe will work really well, particularly with the paracord wrap, in heavier duty tactical law enforcement military application because of how deep the cut in is. I mean, I can reverse grip this thing, boom, do a thrust, do a stab, and I am not at all worried about coming up and sliding on the edge. And again, that paracord is going to be a good traction for you, but also is going to give you the strength of it being that drop forge that you don't have to worry about maybe in some military applications. You're out there in the field and the handle scale loosens up and you're like, great, now what do I do? You know, I got to tear this thing off and try and wrap it anyway. Well, you're cutting out that step of having to remove a handle scale that's loosened up or damaged on you and then wrap it with paracord anyway, and you're just starting from scratch with wrapped paracord handle. So it's doing surprisingly well for both outdoor use or harder tactical utility type of tasks that you may want to put this knife through. All right, now to the business end of the blade here. We have a great, really broad leaf shape design, as you can see, have been really beat on, and we're really happy with the results. It's got a cold steel edge on it, which means it's stupid sharp out of the box, and it's really easy to work with in the field after a lot of use. It holds a great edge with that 52100 steel, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. The coating is wearing some because it is a high carbon steel. There are a couple different coating options, I guess. I think this is the normal one, and then I think they do have a black one out there as well. Very large, full flat grind, 4-inch cutting edge into that really good tip that is nice and strong. So you're not going to worry about that snapping and breaking with the stabbing and, you know, prying that you would put through average use. Obviously, don't be stupid. Every knife can snap and break if you're being done with it, but it does have a really good, strong, you know, stout tip. And then the thickness all the way back here is 0.2, and then it's going to taper down. So I mean, it's a thick blade and it's a weighty blade. It's going to come in at 8.6 ounces, 9 ounces with the paracord wrap that you see here. So for a little 4-inch blade, it definitely has some weight to it. This guy right here, the Schrade with a longer blade, this one's going to have almost a 5-inch blade. This one's 9 ounces as well, and then the SE4 with about the same, you know, blade length there is going to weigh in at like 7.7, so about an ounce less with the handle scales attached. And so this is definitely a handle heavy blade, so that's something you need to consider. It wasn't throwing me off in all the use that I put this knife through, but just to give you kind of a balance point here, you can see right there, that's the balance point of the blade. So it is definitely handle heavy, obviously, because it's that full tang, you know, drop forged feel to it. But the sweep up and the tip really being almost like a spear point is amazing. So this thing, because of how thick it was, because of some of the, you know, balance and stuff like that, I'm like, you know, before we went out, I'm like, I don't know how good this thing's going to be. But we were stunned at how good this thing was able to be manipulated with carving, whittling, notching, feather sticks, making spears, that type of thing. We were super happy, super pleased. Food prep, it's going to do great because of the full flat grind. And then it is 4 inches, so you're not going to baton anything crazy with it, but, you know, just beating on it, splitting stuff, making the notching, you know, splitting stuff in half, that type of thing. I mean, it absolutely can handle anything that you're going to throw at a 4-inch knife and take it, you know, and just keep on laughing while it's doing it. So was super impressed with that. And the reason, again, that I have this Schrade and this SE is that it performs like these guys, because these guys are both about the same thickness as the SE, or excuse me, as the cold steel is, the drop forged Hunter. These are all about the same thickness, and they all are going to perform very similarly in slicing, carving, cutting, and all those type of tasks. Even, you know, like heavier stuff. I was doing some outdoor tasks with like rubber and, you know, nylon and paracord and seatbelt, just to test it more in like a military, you know, harder, you know, around a military base maybe or something like that. Application, and was just super pleased with that as well. Sliced right through heavy duty rubber and paracord with ease because of the belly and just the shape of the knife. Now finally to that 52100 steel, maybe you're not super familiar with it. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole with all the different, you know, it's versus this. I would say it's absolutely on par with anything that you see in front of you, particularly the SE 1095. It can compete, if not do better, in edge retention and toughness and durability. So think of it in the family of 1095, 5160, and that type of range. It's in that family, and I would say it's on the higher end of that family. And at 59 to 60 Rockwell, which is what they have done with this thing is tough, durable, and going to hold a great edge. So the sheath is another benefit to the design for the price. Now, it's better than any sort of just crappy nylon sheath. It is not my favorite polymer sheath, just for some of the things we're about to look at here. Now, this is the Cold Steel Secure-X. You know, it's a polymer. Lots of lashing points that are available to you. You can completely take off this nylon backing. This does have the Velcro and the snap and a large belt loop. So this does have a lot of mounting options. You can unscrew it, move it up and down, around on the blade, which is on the sheath, which is really nice. The sheath will go in, has a little bit of a hump right in here. I hope you can see that for retention. So you definitely have a little bit of a positive click. There's some rattle. And you don't have to push too hard on that thumb ramp to release. So as long as you belt carry it, it's not bad. This is not something that I would mount like upside down on some sort of LBE system. I would either modify it and do like heating up tighter around here. You can use a heat gun and kind of heat around this collar right down here or something like that. The toggle back here with a button with no paracord on, no problem, it'll snap on. Otherwise, you gotta kind of like play with the paracord. If you fully wrap this thing, it will not want to snap. So I really got to struggle to kind of get that right over that hook portion right there. Then it does add that extra positive grip so that as I'm pulling on this, it doesn't want to come out. So that is a benefit, but you just know if you really like bundle up the paracord on this snap will not work, and then you're just gonna have to snap it behind. So it's definitely doable, and for the price point, I mean, it's way better than anything that you're gonna find that's, you know, like a crappy nylon, but a really like thought out Kydex sheath would be ideal, particularly for, say, like a soldier or on an LBE system, or if this is like your go-to compact blade. So we'll touch on price again, guys, and that's kind of why I was rolling in those two other blades for us throughout the video. Is again $35 to $45. You can't beat what you're getting. Again, Amazon Blade HQ links below. I really appreciate it. You guys pour the gas into the gas tank, Gideon's Tactical. That helps this channel run. So thank you for using those hyperlinks, regardless if it's for this blade or any other blades that you purchase or gear just in general. Okay. Little GT Junior's hanging out. GT Junior Mark II is hanging out inside. Really having a good time. And it's been raining, so trying to balance life, blades, family, all of it together, and continue to run the channel for you guys. So again, thank you for those hyperlinks that you guys use. So the other two blades we talked about, they're about the same thickness. This arguably is going to be as good, if not better, in edge retention and toughness because of the steel that they decided to go with and heat treat that they're doing. So on the business end, you are getting a great tool. Now, arguably, obviously, handle ergonomics aren't going to be quite there for you. So you got to decide, is that something that's willing to be sacrificed? Is the strength to no handle something that's a positive? Maybe it's a huge drawback and you're like, dude, this is not the blade for me. So that's just something that you need to weigh. But I think if you like the concept, you're interested in the concept, and you just need that bulletproof, bomb-proof blade with really good steel and really good performance, and you don't mind doing paracord wraps, I think that this would be an awesome option for a lot of scenarios, a lot of situations, guys. So not only is the value there, but I think just the blade in general, as long as you can get over the handle side of things and you're cool with that. For me, it's just something different, something cool, and as long as I do a paracord wrap well, it's going to perform really close to a lot of other blades out there, and it's just something a little bit different. So thank you guys so much for coming over here today and checking out the channel. Please check us out on all the relevant social media, Instagram, Facebook, throwing up stuff there all the time, giving you updates, another way to communicate with me, different things like that. If you're a current subscriber, you're rock. Thank you so much. Maybe you're not a regular subscriber here. I invite you to become part of the GT family. Subscribe, hit that bell icon. We're throwing up 2 to 4 videos every single week here, giving you guys full, honest reviews and content so you can make a wise choice when you're looking at gear in general, particularly for the outdoors and survival and tactical and everything in between. So thank you guys so much. Always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and we'll see you out there.